Hello, welcome to episode 51.
Yeah, episode 51 of Life with Jill and Frank. Wow. Almost a year. Except it's not exactly going to be at 52 that we reach a year because we have a couple of mystery episodes at some point that
hmm
switched numbers. So we need to figure it out. It could be a couple weeks off. Um, but
Yeah,
we're getting there, though.
but
Almost a year.
but there's good news to that.
Of course, there is.
Yes. So no matter what, we could have like a month celebration of the year because we don't know the exact date and we're too lazy to go find it. So we can just use the whole month.
Yeah,
We can have
exactly.
a annual celebration for a month.
Give me a second. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry, my son just returned, so I had to say hi. All right. So tonight, okay, we have a very special episode tonight. I decided to go a little crazy. And so I'm going to talk about something that is going to be a little weird to most people, I think. We're going to talk about the book of the law or the law of telema. And telema is a Greek word that means love. And so it's the law of love. Now, also because we want to have crazy topics tonight, we're going to talk about, is Christ a person? Hmm, what could that be? If you stick around, you'll find out. And last but not least, the Great Awakening. And at the same time, how it ties with the other two subjects. So stick around, you guys. It's going to be a nice episode.
Very interesting. Okay, so the law of Thelema.
Yeah. Now, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see what the main tenant, like the main thing, is about the law of Telema, and that is, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." So that's all of it. Love is the law. Love under will. Now, what does that mean? Because that's kind of weird phrasing, and it's like old English, "Do what thou wilt," and what's wilt, and why is it will at the other end, and what the hell is going on here? It's a weird, sentence. Okay, so let's start with the will. What is the will? Now, this is where it becomes a bit of a problem, and it's also a problem with a lot of the proponents of the law of Telema. It tends to become do what you want. And this would explain what is going on in the world today, because that would be the new law under the new Aeon, which would be do what you want. And this is exactly what's happening right now with people. However, then they would have used the word want. So, what's the difference with the want and the will? Now, the will is the will of your higher self, not the will of your ego. The wants are the wants of your ego. The will is the will of your higher self. So, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So, do what your higher self knows that you're here to do is the only law that we should have under the new Aeon, under the new era that we're entering, the era of the child, the age of Aquarius, whatever you want to call it, the age of Horus. It has many different, but it basically is the age of the child. And this is also why we're seeing it as a physical manifestation where everything right now revolves around the children. Everything. We're at a time where there's a direct danger to our children, and there's a lot of direct dangers to our children. There's a lot of things that need to be addressed, but most of it revolves around the children because that's the age we're entering. They are becoming the important factor, right? And then love is the law. Love under will. And so that love, we're not talking about the love between a man and a woman. We're talking, or, man and man, whatever. We're talking about the love of God, the love of like the eternal love, the love that permeates all things. And so love is the law. but love under will, right? And so what it's also including in that is that if somebody stops you from doing your will, they're doing wrong. They're the ones that are impeding the world from moving forward. And it's your duty to do your will, to do what you know is your, what you know your higher self is here to do. And that's the main concept. Now, unfortunately, this came from a man called Aleister Crowley, who said it got dictated to him through his higher self, his holy guardian angel named Aiwas. Um, and it also came with a whole bunch of rituals, a whole bunch of gematria, of Kabbalah, of it is an insane book that contains like a crap load of code, references to Egyptian concepts of the soul. Like it is every single word is like could be a library in itself. It's an insane thing, and for those who would push it to the extreme or whatever, at the end there's a comment and it says, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The study of this book is forbidden. It is wise to destroy this copy after the first reading. Whoever disregards this does so at his own risk and peril. These are most dire. Those who discuss the contents of this book are to be shunned by all as centers of pestilence. All questions of the law are to be directed only by appeals to my writing, each for himself. There is no law beyond do what thou wilt. Love is the law, love under will. The priest of the princes, Ankh-Efen Konsu." It's weird Egyptian constructs stuff. Meaning, you read the book, your interpretation of the book is master. That is what the book means. Not what somebody else will tell you the book means, not what it is only. That's why it says, do not discuss the contents of this book. Read it, understand what you understand at that moment, and then whatever you needed out of that book, you'll have gotten. It's okay. Beyond that, seek to know yourself, seek to know your higher self, and to
And if you
learn.
need to read the book again, you may get something else out of it when you read it again.
Yes,
But
the
but
whole
just
thing of not reading it many times is like, eh. However, my own experience is that because, okay, here's the deal. He also formed the magical order, Aleister Crowley, after the creation of the book. So it was a Thelemite order called the Ordo Templis Orientis. Now that, because of some of the rituals that he did and whatever, and at the same time we were discovering sex magic. It was in the 18th century, so you can imagine somebody coming out going like, "Hey, let's do sex magic. Let's all have a bunch of orgies." In the middle of the 18th century was not a popular person. And he had the most insane sick sense of humor, so he would throw out there stuff like "I am the beast 666," the number of the beast, just to throw it out there at Christians. He was very, very theatrical and had a lot of issues. However, he wrote more about magic and gave people more knowledge about it than any other human being. At the time anyways, like at the time when magic came out in the open, when people started writing about it instead of passing it down, orally. And so this came of it. And the OTO is actually, there's supposed to be the order that believes in Thelema and tries to advance it, if you will, or whatever. In the book, it says my prophet, the person that's writing the book, will try to interpret the book, but will get it wrong. And there will be somebody that will follow, that will understand. And the OTO, as far as I can tell, every conversation I ever have with any members of the OTO, they're all taking apart Aleister Crowley's own interpretation of the book. And it's like, the book is it is the magic of the book is super crazy and weird
Okay,
and
I have a
complex,
question.
but the
Why would
basics are
he?
simple.
Didn't you say that he said don't share your interpretation with anybody?
Pretty much, yes.
So why would he share his with others? Why are they taking his interpretation apart? How did they get his? If he
Well,
said don't
that's a
share.
big part of it. Now, okay, there's three sections to the book. One section is for like the population at large, if you will. Another section is for the magicians, and they are like, and the third section I think is for, I don't remember, but the three sections are like there's one that's for the general rules of like the book, the book of the law. The other one a little bit, if you will, like the priests and the population, except it's magicians. Uh, and so they take that part apart. Like, I mean, even the beginning of the book, like it goes, let's say, okay, wait up. Where's the very beginning here? Book of the law, perfect. Okay. Had the manifestation of Nuit, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior, Lord of Thebes, in my unveiling before the children of man. So you can see a little bit how this is going to go, right? But right from the start, had the manifestation of Nuit. We're talking about earth, sky, in Egyptian terms. The unveiling of the company of heaven, which is an Egyptian concept. Every man and every woman is a star. This is a very, very important concept in Thelema because, yes, that's what it is. I say that often to people. I say every man and like every person is a star. We are each our own light. We are each our own. We have our own path. We have our own. But it is not, again, the difference between want and will, the difference between being led by our ego in a at the same time I'm kind of wrong because it has to be both. For some people it has to be the ego, I guess, and for some people it has to be the path of the inner self, because or else we lack balance, don't we? I'm actually just discovering this live, thinking about that right now. It could be a lack of balance to only want it one way. Interesting. But yes, so you have to discover your higher self, you have to discover your purpose, and from there, that purpose, don't let anybody stop you from doing it. That is your purpose on earth. That's your only thing, and do it with love. Those are the only rules in this day and age. We're not being asked to be perfect anymore. Now we're accepting that we're humans. But it's part of our evolution. It's because we have to evolve as a species. If we're going to become an interplanetary species at some point, if we're going to start doing all those things, if we're going to evolve, yeah, there's going to have to be a lot of stuff that we discover about ourselves. We have to do some growth, and we all know growth hurts. It never goes easy.
Hmm.
So, but this is the birth. I mean, I believe in this insofar as I don't care about the content of the book per se. There are parts of the book, there are certain sentences that have a lot of meaning to me, and I think that's maybe what the strength of this book is that when you read it, there's going to be some things that kind of just jump at you for some reason out of a jumble of stuff that makes no sense. And you just kind of all of a sudden you go, why does this make so much sense all of a sudden?
Hmm.
Like one of them is in the book. It says to curse because, and it makes a lot of sense. I spent my entire life always asking people why about things, and the truth is because it is not a thing. Whatever follows because, it doesn't exist. It's a creation, right? The sky is blue because blah blah blah. It's going to be a whole string of facts that may or may not be accurate. At some point, you end up somewhere where you start having less and less accuracy until, because if you take anything apart, even the most scientific thing, if you keep on going down the levels, you'll come to somewhere where we're making assumptions. You'll come to a point where you go, okay, this part of the calculation, this number, we made it up because it seems to make sense and it works with a lot of things. And you go, okay, so that's where we have the we're going like, okay, this is faith. This is not. Now, people will, like scientists will try to defend science and say, no, it doesn't have that fragility. And it's like, no, it does. And it's important to acknowledge that it does, because then you can rediscover, because all the time we have scientific principles that we then discover, oh crap, no, that's not exactly it, and then we change them, and we do new calculations and discover new things. And as long as we're willing to do that, we go insanely but yeah, like, it's in everything. It has to be. So anyways, how about we use this in a little bit, like, it's a weird segue, but how about we segue into our second topic
Okay.
and see where that leads us. So now the next topic is Christ a person? Now, that could be a little bit of a touchy subject for people. It's, in part, it's one of my beliefs, and I don't condone anybody who has a different belief, because as far as I know, they're all good. It doesn't
But
matter.
what is a person to you?
Okay, so to me, the reason I put the question this way is because people use Jesus and Christ interchangeably. Now, again, like we were saying earlier, why do we have two words if they mean the same thing, right? We
Hmm.
would only have one word, right? The guy had a name. Why would we call him Christ? Okay, so Christ is a way of being. And that's what he tried to come and teach us. Jesus literally tried to come and teach us how to become Christ. He said, hey guys, check this out. I discovered something. I can talk to God. He's hearing me. He's responding. We're having a chat. Things are awesome. Now, he's telling me I'm going to have to get killed and shit, but that sucks. However, check it out. Here's what he's telling me. This is what you can do. And he taught us how to pray. He said, you go in the middle of the woods alone with God and you pray. Now, there's a handful of people on this planet that do so, and there's a shovel full of people that do it on Sunday, holding hands, singing songs, which is not the same thing. Because, like when we were talking about Thelema, it's about finding God from within yourself. That's what Jesus came and taught us. If you read the guy, this is the funny part. People go to church. Like when I was a kid, I may bash a little bit on the church here, and maybe it was only my church, so I don't know. But when I was about 9 years old, I started walking myself to church every Sunday because I wanted to know. I needed answers. I was really messed up. And so I went. And as I went, it really struck me that there's an entire book, right, with thousands of pages. And every Sunday, they discuss like 6 of those sentences for an hour and a half. I can read 6 sentences like way faster than that. And I really don't need that guy in front to tell me what the sentences mean. I can read. I'm good. They taught me like in grade school. You know what I mean? Like high school, I learned bigger words, even college, but I can manage the Bible. Yeah. However, when I read the Bible and when the guy read the Bible in front and gave me his explanation of it, I went, well, that explanation makes no sense. That's not what the guy's saying. Right? The guy came and said, I am the son of God. You are my brother. Okay, cool. That makes me the son of God, doesn't it? And yet, if I say that, everybody freaks out. But he said I was. He said I was his brother. He meant it. He didn't, that guy was not easy on his words. He was very calculated, I think. I don't think he said things for nothing. But he said that, and he said, here's how you do it. Here's how you communicate with God. You go, you show devotion to God. You ask God not what you want, you ask God what you can do to better God's purpose. And that's how you get to know God, and that's how you get to meet God. And, as far as I'm concerned, what he said was very practical advice. Very practical advice. And that practical advice leads a person to what is known as Christhood. And Christhood, coincidentally with our previous topic, is gaining access to your higher self. It is embodying your higher self. It is embodying that part of you that knows God or source or the universe or that connection to the oneness of all. That is what I believe is Christhood. Now, I could be wrong. I'm wrong on a lot of things. But so far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much where I'm going with this. That was my understanding when I read the book. Now, they try to tell me all kinds of other stuff, but I mean, that guy, like, let's write a description of the church today, and then let's read the Bible and see what he did when he came about something that looked like that. He grabbed a whip, flipped out, and said, "Why the hell are you selling crap in my dad's house?" Right? Now, what do we do in churches? We do bingos, we do all kinds of stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really? Didn't, like, the guy flipped out over this? Like, how can you not acknowledge that? How do you not go, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this because that's not the, it's like, no, you're
Pay
not
for
a,
prayers,
yeah, exactly. Like, go light candles for money, do like,
or
no.
like when people die, they want to have masses for their loved ones, and you got to pay for that.
Well, you used to buy your stairway to heaven. You literally used to buy your spot in heaven. That was literally a contract, like at some points, it was something you could do. I don't know if it is now. I can't imagine it is, but yeah, it's been to that level at some point. It's like, no, you can't. You can't. Actually, money is probably the one thing that's going to not really help you too much to get there. It's not going to do anything. Dedication will. Dedication not only to like the big G God, you know what I mean, or source or whatever you want to call it, but dedication to yourself, dedication to bettering yourself in order to, if I was to describe what trying to know God should feel like in a way, it is not seeking God outside of you. It is preparing your body, preparing your temple to be as clean as possible, to be as pure as possible, to become the best vessel possible for God to inhabit you. For you to feel that oneness with the universe, because you now have no crap you feel. You only have the present, the presence, and that's it. You just be, right? Like when you reach a point where you can just be, that's Christhood. It's also nirvana. It's also like it's you've reached pretty much enlightenment at that point. But that's what we seek, I think, to become, is one with the universe. But that is a thing that you can feel. That is a thing that you can experience, not just a concept. It's more. It's way more. I haven't. I've felt it a little. Not like I can't say I live in it. You know what I mean? I can't say I live in that. But I can say that I've had moments where I totally like. It's more than a brain understanding. I don't know how to describe that. I have felt that energy surround me, take me, and more than that, there's still division. There's a line. I don't know. What do we have? One of the drawings that would. It's
Getting
like
warmer.
it is like becoming a. It's becoming light almost. It's really. Because it is. It's like it's light, but it's more than light. I mean, this is. I keep on coming back to this. Uh, Maybe this, but even then, the shadow would be like it's the shadow that would be that orange color. It's you. My experience of my connection that I had with my higher self, if you will, because I believe I did have that. Um, it it didn't have an actual form like a hard form. It was just shadowy like that shadow, but the reverse. The being was the light. Like it was made of light. It was made. That's literally, I guess, what it is. It was made of light, and then it came like sort of around me, if you will. Um, it was an interesting experience, but well, a few times now, I guess. It's very like it's telling. You can tell. You get your intuition feels different. Your like just I don't know. It's a hard experience to describe. It's a very hard experience. I hate that. I wish it was easy. I wish I could like wave a magic wand and have everybody feel it.
Do you have a magic wand?
I do. I have a magic
So
wand, a magic cup, a magic disc, and a magic. Which one am I missing? Dagger. I
I
built
believe
them myself, all of them.
I believe we're gonna be using wands in we talked to you about earlier.
The witchcraft.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I have multiple ones, but I have crystal ones.
Nice. I know. I used to want one of those. Like I've never had one. Because mine are very like they're. Here, let me find. I can show you here. Really, not Etsy though. Uh, it won't be mine that I will show. Obviously, I would not
And
show
we're
mine.
doing
But
Book of Shadows. Do you have a Book of Shadows or a journal? Yeah, you have a journal. I sent you one.
I have a bunch of journals. I have a pile feet high of journals. Well,
Have
most of them
you
used. Oh,
have you started
I've
using the
written in
journal I
them.
sent you?
The one you sent me? No, I don't
Mm.
dare write in your journals. We used Melly used the one you sent her. She's okay with writing in it. She loves it though. She loves it. At first we did it together. Now I think she does it by herself, but still. It's okay, let me
Why are
share
you
my
not
screen.
using yours?
I don't know. Well, these days I don't journal anyways. I haven't journaled in quite a while. It's been yeah. Well, I journal every once in a while. I do what I call a brain dump. Like if I'm really, really anxious about things and I'm freaking
Hmm.
out and I think about it, I'll just write everything that's going on. Or
Do
if
you
I'm
have
getting really
one?
resentful about somebody, I'll
Do
write
you
more
write
about it.
everything in one journal, or do you like have different journals for different subjects that pop up into your mind?
Oh, I have so many different journals. I have ritual journals. I have dream journals. I
Yeah.
have like daily journals. I have a gratitude book. Uh, Now, I don't use all of them all the time. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm especially bad at having a regular thing. So but yeah, I've had all of those at different times and used them. And give me 1 second. Sorry about that, you guys. There was a little appearance in the corner of my eye. Uh, my daughter came for for a little visit. So, but yeah, no, it's I'm not. I lost my train of thought. No. Um, so anyway, so that was my whole spiel about the difference. Like, is Christ a person? Like, about what is Christ and what it means. Now, I mean, you've been very silent all night because I've been talking about all kinds of
Because
weird
I was
stuff.
always banned from talking about these subjects.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, it's
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, let's talk about this. And I'm like, what?
no, no, no. Here's the deal.
I know you change your
Um,
mind sometimes.
you can state your opinion about the subject, but not about the people who think differently about it, right? I
Well,
respect anybody's vision about Christ because you know what?
my
In their
opinion.
world, they're probably right. In
That's
their own
exactly
universe, they're
my
right.
opinion. My opinion is it's okay to have a different opinion, and everybody's opinion is
Of course.
okay with them.
Yes.
So,
Only certain people will resonate with anything we say.
yeah.
It's not going to be everybody. Um, but that's okay. But that is what, right? To come back to Telema, that's what Telema is. Each of us is a star, and we're each here to trace our own course. Nobody ever in any circumstance should be telling us what to do. Ever. Nor should we. If we start doing that, then we're starting down a dark path because we're stopping someone from attempting to live their true will. Now, if we can help a person discover their true will and we see that they're not, they're following their ego, whatever's going on, right? Then yes, we can help if they want help,
If they are
if
right.
they want help. But that's it, right? We can't,
That's just like with anything else, like with addiction or anything else. If someone doesn't want help, you can't help them.
you can't help
Same
somebody
thing
that
with
doesn't want
this.
help.
You can't push spiritualism on someone. You can't push
Actually,
God on someone. You can't push.
I would even push it further. If somebody doesn't want help, what in the name of God makes me believe that they would want help? What makes me so perfect that I would know? I don't even know what's going on inside of them. And they're telling me they don't need help, but what? I think I know them better?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it's a very tricky thing when you think somebody needs help. It doesn't always mean they need help. They need help. It means you think they need help, and so you got to check. You got to go, hey, do you remember earlier I said we were talking and I asked you at some point. I said, hey, do you want me to tell you this or no? Right? I
Mhm.
don't do it as often as I should, but in
Mhm.
coaching, it's something I would do every single time. I would ask you permission to give you my opinion, to give you any kind of advice, any kind of because
Because
truly
I
no,
may
I
not want your advice,
exactly. And you're allowed to say no. And that's a tough skill for some people to learn as a coach, right? Because you
and
have to
that's a
go,
big
hey,
boundary that people should
yeah,
have in their life with everyone.
it's a huge sign of respect, right? If you're able, if somebody's able to say to you, hey, you know what, I don't care what you think right now, and you go, okay, then that's a huge thing. It's a gift that you're giving them. You're giving them the gift of being sovereign and independent around you, which is important, right? So that's my little thing on that one. This is how we seed good intentions. And so now that we all know that we all are tasked to be Christ, right? Because we all are tasked to discover what our inner self has to say, what our higher self is, what our true path is, which I have termed becoming Christ. Well, where does that leave us with, what's going on with humanity? So we have a new law, we have a new aeon starting, the age of Aquarius. What does that all mean? Where does that leave us? Well, it brings us to the Great Awakening, right? What's going on with that? Why is everybody talking about a Great Awakening? What does that mean? Now, awakenings, I know you know a lot about because you've written a book on that. Now, everybody, you rush to Amazon, you buy the book from Jill about awakenings. It's a great book. So,
Mm,
right now, you do it. Well, or not right now, after the podcast. First, you got to comment, you got to say hi,
should have
hang
warned
out
me
with
to
us
have
a
a
little
book.
bit. Actually, Shelly is actually already telling us hi. Well,
There we go.
she was letting me. She said I was staging. She's letting me stage because we talked about a whole bunch of weird stuff that. And there is Jill's book. And so the Great Awakening. Now we're entering Jill's wheelhouse, actually, because she's interviewed a lot of people that have had awakenings.
This is a little
So
bit different.
okay, but what is an awakening to begin with? Like as a on a personal level, what would we call like you know the different ones because I only know mine.
Well,
But you've written a
everyone's
book
different.
about it.
I believe everyone's different and they all have similarities. Everybody needs a little push here and there, and the reason why I wrote the book is for I know I know this was my idea to put one person on, but I don't like to be on by myself.
All
Um
right,
that makes me nervous. Now I forgot what I was gonna say.
that's fine.
Um Tell me again.
The great about awakenings.
So the reason why I wrote the book is because every experience is different. And I figured if I had a bunch of stories in one book, someone experiencing an awakening could maybe resonate with a little bit from each story and find that all in one book.
Nice.
So as I did research for the book, I learned that people's awakenings are very, very different. What people consider an awakening is very different.
It's true.
Not everybody considers an awakening to be the same thing. In my own opinion, what I feel is an awakening is when you start to like lose your ego and um lose like the let go of the anger and let go of traumas and um begin to heal from your past and not feel I'm not saying that it's the hurt's gonna go away if you have trauma from your past, but you can adapt to it. You learn to adapt to it, and then all of a sudden you start questioning things in the world. What's gonna happen? How did I get here? Um, you know,
The questioning, yeah,
yeah,
that's a huge part, eh?
and that's why a lot of awakenings occur older in age.
Mhm.
I would say like late 30s, 40s, 50s, because people are getting older in age and the kids are growing up and their lives become not as busy because they don't have kids to run after anymore.
Yeah, but wait a second though. There's something
And
insane
things,
happening right now.
people start thinking, yep, there is something insane that, but that's a whole different, to me, it's a whole different thing.
Okay, we'll finish this
Um,
one and then we'll come back to the different because there's something you said there about the age and I want to touch on that. But let's.
yeah,
I want to keep you. I want you to
that's
keep
because
going.
after living life, as a child, you're busy doing kid things, playing. Then you go into as a teenager, and you're with your friends and you study, and then you get into young adulthood where you start families, and that's busy, and you're starting jobs, and life is busy. When you get into your late 30s and your early 40s, and your kids are older, things quiet down and you start to think, and then you notice people around you start to die and you start to think some more, and then a lot of
Mhm.
people, that's what triggers an awakening, grief or tragedy or sickness, something like that, something that makes you think, makes you start to wonder what happens when I die, what's going to happen to me. That that's like a strong trigger. Now, what you're talking about, the Great Awakening, is like a shift in the universe. Um, and what that is kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it I know it in my mind, but I don't know how to put it out in words. Like in general, the Great Awakening is over the whole world, and it's because a lot of individuals of people are going through awakenings even earlier in life. Like, and I notice, I don't know how, if you notice, like with kids, like my kids and kids when I was growing up, like there's a big, 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 big difference. Like how,
But here's the thing, though. I have two young kids,
hmm
and here's what I'm seeing with young kids. They're not like what everything you said. I agree with, right? The most time, like for the most part, people awaken after a certain age, whatever. However, right now, because of the age of Aquarius, because it's the age of the child, there's a new phenomenon that's happening, and some circle call them crystal children, whatever. But there are a lot of children that are born awakened right now. My
hmm
son. sees
Yeah,
the
true,
future, and he's like,
true.
to him, it's like, this is my left hand. Oh, and by the way, this is gonna happen at 5. Like,
But
whatever. And it's
a
like, whoa,
lot of
wait a
it
minute.
is
How do you come about, like,
people
without
are
even
s-
having to learn that? Like,
people are starting to awaken earlier,
mhm.
and the thing is, if you have someone that's open minded and kind of at least semi awakened, a baby is born with all those gifts. We
Yes,
throughout life are conditioned to lose those gifts. So if you have a parent that is very open minded and partially awakened, and you have a child that's born, they're more likely
I,
not to lose their gifts because they're more likely not conditioned. A lot of people are
I don't
turning
think
away
that's what
from
it is.
religion these days,
I
turning
think it's
away.
because 100 years ago, if I said I was a witch, I got killed. Today, if I say I'm a witch, I'm cool.
Yeah,
That's why. It's because right
yeah.
now kids are born, and immediately if they say, I see the future, somebody goes, oh yeah, okay, cool. Where before they would have been like sent to a crazy person place.
Now, that's not to say that there aren't people that are saying they can
Of
do these
course.
do certain things and they can't,
Of course.
and taking advantage of people. You just have to know
Well, yeah, but
what you're
that's like
looking out
anything. I
for.
mean, there's people
Yeah,
that will do that in
but
everything else too.
right, but it's big now. It's really big now.
Oh no, that's a TikTok thing. That's because you spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Maybe, maybe,
TikTok
but
is like
it's
notorious for that.
big. Oh,
It's
well, it's
insane.
Facebook
People
too,
people
though.
fake having mental, no. TikTok, people fake having mental illness,
Oh
people
yeah,
fake having, it's all kinds of
TikTok
weird
is
stuff.
like the
So,
place that people go to beg for money.
what you have to remember, when we gave everybody the internet, we gave everybody the internet. Not everybody used to the people we used to see on the street going, ah, 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 now they're on the internet, right? So they're part of the conversation. And so, yeah, that creates a whole lot of weird stuff. Like,
Mhm.
it really does. But it's okay because it also creates a whole lot of new awareness about everything and all kinds of, and even some of
Definitely.
them were starting to be aware
Things
that,
that
hey,
we would
maybe
have
they got a
never
gift.
learned
Maybe they're,
without internet, that
yeah,
we would never have experienced. Even though we can only experience it virtually, we would have never even known these things existed without the
it
internet.
literally triggered the Great Awakening. That's what the Great Awakening is that we're now having an awareness of everything. We're
Mhm.
forced to be aware of, I mean, look at what's going on, everything that's going on with your government. Now you're very fully aware that, you have two parties that are the same party. So what do you do? Right? Like, everything's out in the open now. Everybody's going like, okay, crap, what's going on? What do we do? But yeah, that's it's taking a strange shape for sure, but it's gonna get better. You know what I mean? We're gonna at some point go like, okay, so what do we do with this? How do we handle this? How do we manage to make peace with ourselves?
Mhm.
Because we have to. Ultimately, there's gonna come a day where we say we can't keep fighting. We have to stop. We have to start looking at what we're doing and say, okay, what the hell's going on? But maybe not tomorrow. But I don't know though. It's gonna come fast, I think, because like I
Oh,
say,
it's
kids.
definitely coming fast.
I mean, I see kids. I love kids. I'm always, like, I don't know, and it just, yeah, they have an awareness that they're breaking the existing system. They want no part of it, and it will
Mhm.
break. They will not continue it. That is
They
a
think we're
given,
all fucking nuts,
and we
and
are. I
they
believe we are.
want they want to run this show,
Yeah.
and it's about time we just give them the saddle and let them go because we are screwing it up.
Oh, dude, we have a bunch of antiques running the show. Like, I mean, how does that work? Those guys were like, they barely know what a car is. How the hell are they supposed to handle AI? Like, they can't handle everything we have now. They can barely use their remote control for their TV. I mean, this is not the people supposed to run the show. The 20-year-olds are supposed to, because right now, even the 20-year-olds are kind of old.
Mhm.
Like, this is getting really, really, this is why it's, I believe anyways, this is why it's the age of the child, the age of Aquarius. This is the age where children will wake up already awakened, already ready to make the right decisions,
Hmm.
because they will know intuitively, because they will be connected to their higher self. They will know what we are really. And they'll,
Yes.
because right now the ego has taken over so badly that it's all going to break. It has to break. The ego has to fall, as a general rule. I mean, as a general,
They all gonna be laughing at us.
I mean, the way we're functioning has to fail, and then we can find ourselves. We can go, hey, we're more than that. And and then we'll find out stuff like, look, anytime we create a new concept in Hollywood, here's good news for you people. Watch movies right now. In a few years, that's our reality, because we're humans. We create with our thoughts. So when we think of something and we put that much energy in it, it happens. And that's what we do. So it's I don't know, it's a thing. Give me a second, people. I'm trying to, my phone is going weird.
So
Oh.
the Book of Thelema, is Christ a person in the Great Awakening?
And they all tie together, really, because the Great Awakening is people awakening to their true nature. And not only this, but here's the other reason it's the age of the child. It's because we're finding out that growing up is a made up concept. We never grow up. We grow old, we fall apart, but in your head, are you not the same person as when you were
And
right?
that's the most scariest thing, is that the older you get, you'll notice that your mind is still set back,
Of course.
and yet you can't achieve the things that you used to achieve when your mind used to tell you to achieve them before.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you want to run the same marathon as
yeah,
when you were 20, but your
that's the
body's
hardest
going like,
part.
hell no. Yeah, yeah, your body is the one that's not following. But that's okay though. That's part of life. But the truth is though, we remain children. We should remain playful. We should remain. This is the age that we're at. This Everybody's going like, "Oh, kids will accomplish nothing." No, they will accomplish much, just not what the old people think they should. Because the old people are part of the industrial age. The old people worked themselves to the bone for nothing. And not only was that not enough money for them, they had to take their children's money and go spend that too. And then borrow some more, and then print some more, and then try to do everything to die with as much in their pocket as possible. And die they will. And their pockets, they will not take with them.
Right.
And that's it. You know what I mean? And it's happening soon. And when that, see, there's a weird thing, right? When the baby boomers go, how much actual money that is sitting dead in bank accounts will actually be released into the world? That's a question I've always
Well,
had.
I mean, it's about to switch to like whatever that Bitcoin, or well,
Money, yeah, money's about to be not a thing.
yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Look, we have some comments that we missed. I am here, Shelley,
I
and she
saw.
says we're slagging. I don't know if we have like a connection issue. We never noticed. And what's up, Nick? So, what do you guys think about
Any of
the,
those
the
topics.
Great Awakening? Um, do you feel something different from, let's say, even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago?
Oh God.
It's like so,
Okay.
it's such a significant difference
Okay.
just
Show
in
of
a little
hand.
amount of time.
Show of hand. What, actually, not show of hand. Let's go with everybody say a year. What year do you think everything started changing enormously? Let's see what years people come up with. I'm really curious. I'll write mine, but I won't um, send it right away. So without.
Nick
Uh,
says it's definitely time for the younger to take over. The whole world is different.
okay, Nick says 2021. Anybody else? Come on, you guys. We see you. We know you're here. Nick
COVID,
again.
yeah, more like 2020. Um,
I'm
when they
going with
first
2016. 2016 is when everything started changing. 2016 is, yeah, but even the pandemic, it was planned before. Like, I mean, everybody at this point, I think everybody's aware of that. It started at the very least 2018. They're already talking about it, and then 2019 it actually hits.
Nick has a good point. He said when they locked us up, it gave us time to open our eyes. That's a good point about like um awakening. How I said that people awaken usually older in age, and that's part of why a lot of people are awakening right now because they were locked up and their minds had time to think. Life got a little less busier.
Seriously, some of those people would go back to being locked up. It's weird. Like, you see them with the masks
It didn't
everywhere, and
bother
they're
me.
like, it's like, eh. But no, 2016. One of the big things that happened in 2016 is your elections. I mean, the one guy came in and said,
Why did I
"Hi,
know we
okay,
were going to
here's
politics?
what's going on."
We
Well,
are going to get kicked off and banned soon.
okay, are you going to tell me that that did not change the world?
It did. It
Okay,
definitely did.
it's not politics to say that when Trump took power, it changed the world. I don't care about your politics, to be honest. Like, you
I
guys
think
are
it
out to
went way
lunch with
worse.
politics.
It went way worse when
Jill,
Biden took
Jill, did you
office.
know that the news was lying to you before he became in power?
I don't watch the news, so I
Okay, but
wouldn't
did
know
did
either
you
way.
did you know that if you did watch them, you would be getting propaganda? You didn't know that. That's when it all came out.
No,
And the left went
he's
crazy
saying
as well.
when he came, it went crazy.
Well, when he came, no, but both. Both. When he came, it broke it. Like, when he came, he refused to be part of a system that you guys have, which has nothing to do with party. Like, I don't care what anybody says, like Democrats or Republicans, you're getting effed one way or another. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. By the same people, by the way. They all do backroom deals. They all do. The lobbyists are the one that run Washington, not like those guys. They just make money all kinds of every which way. Congress. There was a list at some point. I saw a list. That is an interesting thing. If anybody wants to look it up, there's a list of crimes, and it says, like, okay, 17 like misdemeanors, 12 DUIs, blah blah, and it lists like a crap load of crimes, and it says which group of people have committed all those crimes. Which group of people do you think that is? Congress. It is insane. Like, there's a list of hundreds and hundreds of crimes. And you're like, really? That's all people right now sitting at Congress that broke those laws. It's like, okay, you guys have a problem with your system. Well, any our system is no better. We have a dictator at this
No, the
point. Right?
system is a problem.
Everything is breaking right now. And they're trying to make it even more control, and that's gonna break. That's not gonna work. It's gonna just backfire somehow. But we have to let them, try
And
and
this
run
is
their
why I
course.
don't watch the news, Frank. All the news I get comes from you because I don't watch it. You are my anchor guy.
You get weird news then, because I only tell you the stuff that I retain. Right? I probably hear a lot of different stuff, but I stick to the stuff that resonates with me.
No, this is Frank. Do you know what your government did? Did you hear what your government did? And I'm like,
They're funny.
no, 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 I didn't, Frank.
Well, yeah, it's because they're doing it with your money. That's the part that should concern you. They're taking a crap load of money off your paycheck to do it, and none of it benefits you. That's the problem. But anyways, yeah, let's not go into that part because that would be politics. And I truly, like, I mean, any government anywhere, I really don't care. I think we have a much bigger problem. Governments are being run by enterprises right now. So never mind. Governments have no power anymore. Like, you really think Biden runs the show right now?
I don't know. I mean, in
Pfizer runs the show a lot more than
in
Biden.
the UK, they seek out psychic conference. So, I mean, maybe the US should start taking note on that. I don't know.
On the UK? Do you have any idea what's going on on the UK? Half of
I
what
don't know.
we
I
write,
don't watch the news.
half of what we write on Facebook probably would get us arrested. No, no, seriously, they arrest people over stuff they write on Facebook in England.
Do you know that
It's
there's an
pretty bad.
island? Not an Yeah, it's an island right outside the UK that someone made. It's like in the middle of the ocean because he wanted to.
Oh, is
Wait,
that
what
the
did
one
he?
with the little house there? It's
Yeah,
just
well
got one
now
house.
no, it's like a
Okay.
platform, and to get there, they bring you by boat, and you get on a platform, and I think it's like a Navy base or something.
Oh, okay.
Because he wanted to do something and it was illegal to do it in the country. So he was like, "Well, screw y'all, I'm gonna make my own
I'm gonna
country."
make it.
So he went in the middle of the ocean and did it, and then he created the country. I don't know. It was
Oh.
a TikTok.
Oh. Okay. Yes. May require double check. It may require double check. Um. So yeah.
but but another thing too, though. Here's a cool place just to say. I know it's summertime and everybody's looking for vacations. I would never do this, but maybe somebody might be interested. In Florida, there's this
Oh,
place where you go and you have to take a dive exam or whatever before you can go to your hotel. And
okay.
you gotta go to your hotel through the water. It's underwater.
Oh wow. That's
And
kind
they
of cool.
take you and the dive instructor is like your what do you call it, a belt guy? What do you call him?
The belt guy.
The guy that does your luggage. What's this called?
Oh, the yeah, something belt. Wait up. Oh, Nick says he saw that once.
I want to say
The
Belvedere, Mr.
No, the
Belvedere,
bellboy. It's just the
Bellboy.
bellboy. Yeah.
Yeah, he is your guide, and if you need something like they ordered pizza, he puts it in like this waterproof bag, and he
Oh my
comes
god.
back and he delivers the pizza.
Oh my
It was
god, that's
cute.
weird. That must
So
be
that's
cool
in
though.
Florida, guys. Not far away.
That must be cool. There's a lot of weird stuff. There's a hotel made of ice. The entire hotel is made of ice. Like it's insane.
It must
They
be
built
freezing in there.
they build it every winter. I don't know how it works. I have
They
no
build
idea.
it every winter. They rebuild it.
Well, yeah, we kind of lose our winters. I guess they do. I can't imagine. Well, wait up. Give me a second. Let me.
Okay,
I
that sounds
multiple. I know
stupid.
there's multiple.
Like, why
Some in
put all
Europe's
that
might be
manpower
permanent
into building a new hotel every year? Right, that's
because
impossible.
you make a shitload of money. I mean, that's usually the reason.
That sounds crazy.
So if it's costing me 2 million to build it every year, well, let's okay. Number one, let's establish what ice is. It's water,
Yeah.
not a very high cost. Water is not very costly.
I'm talking about the labor.
Yes, you have the labor, but if I have to spend like $2 million of labor every year to make 12 million, why do I care?
They gotta have some
Sure.
kind of frame where they put ice on top or
No,
something.
it's in Quebec City. Quebec City has a summer.
Let's see.
Okay, you want a picture? There, let's
That's not far from you, right?
give you a picture. It's 3 hours away from me, I think. I don't know from here. From where I used to live, it was 2 hours, but here. Do you see it? There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a nice hotel. It's insane. There's
And
many
you
though. There's
sleep
some in
there?
Sweden. There's a bunch of Heist Hotel. Like, but this is the one I know that's not far. I've never been or anything. Oh, yo, what am I doing? There we go. But it's insane. Actually, let's see. Maybe I can find. Let's see. Was there? If I say images. Oh, there we are. Here. Uh, There we go. Like that's one of the
Yeah.
bedrooms.
I like what would be fun about that?
I don't know. Seems beautiful though. Look at that.
It is beautiful, but seems like you'd be freezing to death.
Well, I'd imagine actually. Okay, they're wearing jackets. Yeah,
Who wants
possibly.
to stay in a coat all day?
Well, I don't know what you do
You
all
know
day in
that
that.
light bulb in the chandelier got to be dripping.
Of course, of course,
Well,
that would be what
imagine
you.
if imagine if your room starts dripping and you get electrocuted. This is not safe.
No, it is safe. I'm sure it is.
And y'all talk about the Americans. Look what the Canadians are creating.
Oh, come on, let's not go America
This
versus
is an
Canada here.
OSHA hazard.
It's just we have a lot of ice. What are you gonna do? You got to do something with it, right? And so we do. We make it work.
That's like that's like Florida building a sandcastle hotel and expecting people to go in it. Something's got to hold that thing up, I think. To whoever's listening that just got the bright idea to go open a sandcastle hotel in Florida, it was my idea.
Oh, because you
Send
really
me
think that
my
hasn't been
bonus.
done yet? I'm sure
But
it's
I
done.
don't think. Check it out.
I guess it is.
I've never heard of it. Well, I've never heard of an underwater hotel either until this week.
Netherlands has one. I was checking if there was one in California. I was sure there was going to be some, but in the UK there's one. Uh,
Really?
okay, well let me do Sand Hotel, Florida. See if there is. Okay, here's the thing about 2023.
Hmm.
Whatever it is you can think of, just for kicks, do a search on Google just to see if somebody's already thought of it. Because 99% of the time, somebody's thought of it. You know how? Okay, so here's something we were talking about. The way the world is going and da 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 and all their plans, right? And they present everything of their control as Star Trek like. As in, everything will be hunky dory and everybody will be blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, you know what? I will only believe if we ever come up with a replicator.
Hmm.
Because if we have a replicator, we have unlimited resources. So yeah, sure, we can do that, of course. So I went, okay, wait a minute. We're working on every other technology. I said, are we working on a replicator? And of course we are. We already have some.
Of course.
We already have some. They can only do inanimate or objects, and it's fairly limited what it can do and whatever. But yeah, we're working on replicators. And so it's like, okay, wait a minute. I saw somewhere written more gets invented in a single day than you could research in your entire lifetime if you researched all day, every day. In one day, more than that gets invented. So we can't know everything. That's why propaganda works. That's actually, I'm paraphrasing Soros here, of all people. But it's because what you're doing is you're simplifying monster amounts of information and you're oversimplifying it and giving it to people bite size. And that's why it works, because it's simplified. People's mind can't handle the amount of information we have. It's too much. No one person can. Everybody. It's funny because mostly people on the right these days will tell you no, but you got to do your own research. Okay, that's not untrue. However, no, you can't think that you're going to find every data point that exists, because that's not going to happen. No single person can do it. And this is why we now have groups of people that synthesize information in order to present it to other groups of people in a way that's understandable. And so in all those processes, all kinds of weird things happen. Information gets lost, gets twisted, gets distorted, it's like the telephone game, right? But yeah, we need to simplify the information we have because it's too much. No one brain can handle all that. It's a real problem we have. I don't know what to do about it though. AI will probably help us. And then they'll stick little bits of chips and technology in our heads, and it'll make us
Definitely.
process things faster. That's gonna
They
be
already started
weird.
doing it.
Yep, that's gonna be strange. That's gonna be really strange. But hey, you know what? I'm sure people have said that generations over, and Or maybe they said that just a few times and that's when we killed the world and then started over. I don't know. Yeah, those guys must be going like, seriously, they're at it again. They're at it again. Take us to your leader. No, can we take you to anybody else, please? Anybody else.
Oh.
Like, really, anybody else. I don't care who. I mean, like, take them to a comedian for all I care. But please, not our leader. Not any of our leaders. We don't trust our leaders. Please don't rely on them to help you. They will shoot you down. Actually, they tried. They have. They thought they had. My leader thought
Yeah.
he had. He was so happy about it. That was so funny. He was all like, "Yeah, we shot aliens." No, that was balloons. Oh. Anyway, so
And
we're
why
now
would you choose
completely
if you're
off
talking
topic.
with aliens? But anyway.
We have now completely So it was nice taking you guys in conversation with us. We're just talking about stuff now. I think I'm gonna say we've covered our topics, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're
So
pretty.
guess what, guys? It's about that time.
Yeah, we thank you
We
again for joining. Absolutely, you guys are always, always here, always amazing, and we really appreciate you coming by. Please
if you
share the live,
if you're looking for
comment,
some
like,
spiritual merch, we got some spiritual merch. If you have any ideas on something you'd like to see in the merch store, let us know. You have any ideas on topics that you'd like to hear about, please let us know. We are always interested in your feedback. Even if we're not live, you can still comment on the live and we will answer you.
and regardless the topic, I'll have an opinion about it.
He
I'm
will.
opinionated that way. That's all it is, man. I'm opinionated. That's why I have a podcast, so I can, you know. All
So
right.
here's the thing, if we can get enough people to comment, like, and share the live and come into the live for the next couple of weeks, we can do some live tarot readings. But I don't want to do that if
That
we
could be
only
fun.
have like a couple of people in here.
That could
We
be
had a
fun.
few people. Yeah.
Also, I would like to know if people would be interested. I've been thinking about maybe opening one night per week where I would do a group coaching. Um, I'm not sure how many people I want to limit it to. I'm not exactly sure, but just let me know if anybody would be interested in because I mean, obviously, if I open a group coaching, it's a lot cheaper than I haven't thought of a number yet, but we're probably looking at the $100 versus the $600 type deal because you're now in a group setting. So it's a good opportunity, and that could be fun. I would really like to have a group of people exchanging ideas because we have some good people watching and people that I think are aiming to go far.
Yes,
So
definitely.
that would be so. If you guys, it's something you interesting, let us know. And like the video because that makes Facebook, YouTube, any of them, it makes them love us more. Look us up on both YouTube and Facebook. If you're coming from one, then hey, go visit our other one. What is yours on YouTube?
Inspired Spirit.
Inspired Spirit, and mine is Boundless Mind. And so check us out on both Facebook, follow us, and like us, and that will make the algorithm give you more of us. And on that,
All right. Good night, everyone.
take care, you guys.